Hi, this is Gabrielle Dixon from TeachingSpecialThinkers.com, and this is a product preview of my newest adapted book, I Can Calm Myself Down. This book's a little bit different than my other books. The setup is the same, but just the pack, I guess, itself is a little different because there's a lot more included. Because I know that classrooms are different and students all kind of need different ways to calm down. So there's a ton of different options to make your book, and then you can kind of cater it to your students' needs. So included in this pack are all the pages and the pieces to make your own book. There are black and white versions so that you can send the book home. There are some interactive boards so students can communicate with you when they are upset. And I would encourage you to use all of these to practice when the student is calm, maybe daily during a social skills time or one-on-one time. And that way, whenever they do get upset one day, they'll be able to quickly get into the routine of calming down when they see the visuals. So there are some activities that you can do during the social skills time, and then some boards you can use when the student is actually upset and they need prompting to calm down. So here's the book, and then this piece right here, the calming choices and poor choices, that's just kind of a board where you can use the picture pieces to have the students sort different, what looks like it's calming and what does it look like when you're making a poor choice and you're not calming yourself down when you're angry. So that's a good way to kind of reinforce what they're reading in the book. Down here we have I feel and I need boards, and if a student is very upset and you're trying to figure out, how they feel, they can show you I feel angry, or I feel sad, I feel upset, I feel frustrated. And then they can tell you what they need specifically if you don't want them to do a whole routine of calming down. If they just tell you I need to breathe, or I need a break at the beanbag, or I need to go to the cool down area. And then for those students that can follow a routine, we have these cool down routine strips so that if you want them to do a specific set of things in order, you can use that. And you can change it up as needed. So, this one, the student is to go to the calm down area. They're supposed to squeeze a stress ball, count backwards from 10, breathe, squeeze the ball again, and then listen to music until they're calmed down, and then they can return to the activity. So that's a lot of information just from that one slide, but I'll just kind of go through the product just so you can see it. The assembly directions are just like the other ones. I like to laminate them, and then I like to assemble them with rings, but I know some people like just use string, which is fine, and then you Velcro the pieces on that would match to the book pages. For the book pages that you don't use, I wouldn't just not assemble them, because you never know when you have a student who might come into your classroom, or you might need to add a few things or change a few things. So I laminated them and put them on their own separate ring, and then I just kind of have them handy, so if I need to add something, it's a quick change. And then here's the boards, and then of course you have the printer friendly versions that you can send home to parents so that they can also practice with the student at home. So here's all the book pages that are available. And there's lots of different options because you might not have a weighted blanket, or you might not have students that can count backwards from 10, so I would not include those in your calming down routines. You might have a sensory room, and the students should be able to close their eyes and relax. So things like that, you just have to pick and choose what would work best for your students. And I would encourage you to kind of narrow the pages down to 12. I wouldn't have all the pages available in the book for the students, because that might just confuse them, because there's like 20 different options of cooling down. You might just want to give them a few options at first, teach them those, make sure they got those first, and then you can kind of keep adding some different things. And then this is just a blank page that you can use to store all the pieces. I actually print out a couple copies of this and laminate them, so that way I have enough to use for the social story, enough to use for the good choices and the bad choices, sorting board, the I need board, and the calming routine strip. So there's lots of different uses you can use these for. And then this is for the I feel chart. So here's the strips, and if you don't need all the boxes, you can just either cut it, or you just don't have to use them all. I feel and I need, calming choices, poor choices, and then here is the black and white version. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and email me, or you can put it in the Q&A. This has been a very successful book in my classroom, and I know a few others that really like to use cool down routines, and it really helps the student learn to self-soothe instead of someone, prompting them and talking to them when they're upset. They just kind of go do their thing, and then they can return to class. So if you need anything, just email me at teachingspecialthinkers@gmail.com. Thank you.